Pius, thank you very much for joining the show today. A pleasure having you. And for Remo Stars, they are back to home turf. Ikenne, they have a new sporting director talking about technical advisor. So, new technical advisor bounce, and they're playing back at their home turf. Should we expect a win for Remo Stars against Katsina, or is it same of same?
Thank you so much for having me once again. For Remo Stars, like we've always mentioned, I mean, the issues concerning Remo Stars this season has been a combination of so many factors. One has to do with their playing away from home, which I've rightly said on this show, and I'm glad that they are back to Ikenne, even though it's coming a little too late for me. They are bottom of the log, like you rightly painted. They are 27 points. Difference between them and Kano Pillars is about 5 points. At this time of the season, they cannot afford to even draw any game at home. They've not been able to, give us that Remo Stars vibe we used to get from them. But you would rarely expect that, because if you are without a manager who has been with you in the last few years, and of course you are without some of your key players who have actually been with you in the last few years, it looks like a transition going on in the squad, coupled with the fact that they're not even playing in front of their fans. So it is expected that such scenarios would actually make any team go down. But going down as low as the bottom of the league is where I begin to worry what has happened. If they were probably in that position where Wiki Tories, Enyimba, and Barrow FC are talking about 13, 14, 15, I probably wouldn't have even worried. I would have said, okay, yes, it is expected of that. So, but going down to the bottom of the league, it's a big worry for me. And again, the manager is another major factor. I understand that, yes, the new technical director they've just hired in, what's his name again? His name just slipped my mind. He's actually one of, sorry?
Abdallah?
Yes, so he's one who is actually a household name in the Premier League. I honestly think if it's going to drag them out of the relegation zone, it's another matter entirely, because where they are right now is really worrying. It's really worrying. Hopefully, their return to Ikenne might actually bring back that same Remo spirit we used to know of them. And I just wish them all the very best. Their game today against Katsina United will be a very difficult one, because Katsina United, on the other hand, cannot be pushovers. They also, they've been in a very good run of form, drawing away, winning at home and all of that. So I'm just here. I really don't know what to expect of Remo Stars, to be honest with you. That's why I'm not really sounding confident. It looks like I don't really know what to expect of the club. But yes, maybe new manager, probably get a bounce for the players, and let's see how everything works out for them. They cannot afford to drop any points again to the end of the season. Let's not also forget that we have teams who are also fighting for their lives. Enyimba at the same point with victories, who are 14th and 15th on the log, respectively. Kano Pillars, on the other hand, are sitting 16th. They are just 1 point above relegation zone, and of course, they are 1 point above Bayelsa United, who are 17th. So it is very, very dicey for Remo Stars, because teams like Kun Khalifat have been able to win, lose. They are actually winning their games at home. In their last 5 games for Kun Khalifat, who are 19th, they've won 3 and they've lost 2, right? Warri United, on the other hand, like you just mentioned, they also won their last game at home. So teams are beginning to because they understand that this is the time where you need to win all your home. I mean, your home games are a must, because you don't know what you will expect away from home. You might play all the beautiful football away from home. You might do all of the scoring away from home, but you don't really know what you will get away from home. I'm talking about the other factors that are synonymous to Nigerian Premier Football League. Let's not kid ourselves. This is when teams need to start taking their home games seriously. And for Remo Stars, if they're able to do all of that and hope and pray that some of these teams that I've just mentioned are above them. In fact, Enyimba is another factor, because Enyimba, like I mentioned also, will also be trying to garner results, not to fall into that deep, because if Remo Stars are trying to come up, they will actually have to drag some teams into that relegation zone. So teams like Bayelsa United, Warri United, Kun Khalifat, Barrow FC, Kano Pillars, Enyimba are all fighting for their lives as well. So it is very difficult for Remo Stars. That's why I mentioned earlier that I think it is little too late for Remo Stars.
All right, but again, looking at Remo Stars now, apart from going back to their stadium at Ikenne, there's a new technical advisor who is well experienced. Talking about Usman Abdallah. Looking at the bank of the wealth of experience that he has, don't you think he also has what it takes to revive the club? About 10 games to go. If Remo Stars can pick 3 points, I know it's difficult, but if they can pick 3 points in 5 of the games. That's 15 points. They maybe draw the rest of the games, do not lose any other game. Don't you think that would also serve as a motivation for them to survive relegation this season? And it's a drama that we'll all be willing to watch.
Well, it is left to be seen. It's very difficult. It's the likelihood of this happening is I don't know. I'm saying this from the perspective of somebody who has actually followed the league in the last, for so long, the last few years. And I can categorically tell you that any team who is at the bottom of this league at this time, match day 28, and still bottom of the league, is very, very likely to go down. Trust me, that you are at the bottom of the league. And the difference between you and the 16th place team, which is Kano Pillars at this point in time, is 5 massive points. 5 points in the Nigerian Premier Football League is like 20 points or 15 points elsewhere. Because it is very difficult for you to amass that 5 points. 5 points means you need to win one of your home games and then go draw two games away from home. Remo Stars, in their last 5 games, they've lost 4 and they've drawn only 1. And then you are going to fight against a Kano Pillars who in their last 5 games, they've won 3, they've drawn 1, they've lost only 1. You're also going to fight against, let's even say, Katsina United, who happens to be one of the whipping boys, and of course, Bayelsa United, who actually will be playing today against Nasarawa United. Those ones as well, they are picking up draws. Bayelsa United have drawn 4 games in their last 5, and they've lost 1. So these teams are beginning to grind, fight, beginning to pick points everywhere. But Remo Stars, on the other hand, are not doing the same, and they are bottom of the league. So it is very difficult. It will probably be one of the miracles in the Nigerian Premier Football League if Abdallah is able to drag them out of that zone and, of course, help them escape relegation. I saw a quote that was attributed to the owner of Remo Stars talking about Kuleshon Ame, where he was so confident that the team will not escape relegation. But yes, talking is one thing, doing it another. In my own opinion, I felt like all of these actions should have been taken maybe 5 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, where there was still a possible chance of them escaping relegation. This time, we are looking at a team that actually, yes, you are returning back to your Ikenne, but only the fans there cannot play the football. I make bold to say that the morale in the team is very low at this point in time. I speak to some of these players who play for Remo Stars. The morale is really low. They are really hoping that when they return back to Ikenne, maybe they can have that morale revitalized again or probably reignited. But I struggle to see how that will come because I am looking at the competition from other teams. That's where my worry is. If it is about Remo Stars going to Ikenne, yes, they can get all the 3 points, they can get all of the results. But what about the other teams they will be contending against? That's where my worry is because those other teams, they are also fortifying and, of course, also, trying to consolidate. For me, if I were to predict all of these things, I would just sit here and tell you that Kano Pillars and a team like Enyimba will probably not be dragged down because of what I've seen in the last few weeks, what they're trying to do. And maybe a team like Kun Khalifat who are also trying to fight their way. You can imagine since the last time Kun Khalifat planned that, I'll call it escape routes, planned that or whatever they did the other day, they've been trying to ground out results. They've been getting results. They've been getting wins. They've been losing. They've lost 2 in their last 5 games, but they've won 3, which is good for a team that wants to escape relegation. So it is for Remo Stars. Usman Abdallah will have a lot to do. I really hope they're able to, because I don't want to see a team like Remo Stars go down. Sentimentally, I don't want to see a team like Remo Stars go down. But I think this is just everything has just worked against them this season.
True, I totally agree with you. But let's also look at the game between Kano Pillars playing away from home. They'll be playing against Shooting Stars. That's also another big affair to look forward to. So maybe we can say that Remo Stars revival will start if they pick a win against Katsina United and Shooting Stars do the needful against Kano Pillars because Shooting Stars have been very, very good at home.
Well, Shooting Stars, I just fancy them to win this game, but let's not also forget that for Kano Pillars, that's why I talked about teams trying to, gather themselves and trying to fight back. Kano Pillars, yes, they won their last game. I think it was 3-0. But before that, they traveled to Kwara, and then they picked an away point. They played out a draw, a 1-1 draw. So they also understand the fact that they cannot afford to be dragged down into that. I fancy Shooting Stars to win this game. I would give Shooting Stars the win today because, the way they are managed, they've also been doing their things this way. This past few weeks, they've actually been in the news in the last few weeks for dodgy reasons, which we all know. But yeah, I think on the basis of what they would play today, I fancy Shooting Stars to win. Where Kano Pillars would need to take all their 3 points is when they play at home. That's it for them, and I think they all understand that. That's where they would need to get all of their 3 points, and they started doing that. When you know that at this point in time, you need to win all your games, you need to start taking all of those your home games seriously. You can't be bottom of the league. You can't be 16, 17, 18, and then you are joking with your home games at this time in the league. If you are doing that at the beginning of the season, we can understand. We can excuse you. But at this time of the season, no, you can't afford to drop any point at all. They already know. They understand. And that's why sometimes when you see teams like, I think it was the game against, I can't remember the last. It was the Rivers United last game when they played against Barao FC. Yes, the game against Barao FC. Where I was watching again, I was looking at Rivers United, the game where Mayo scored 84th minute win and of course they won 1-0. And I was looking at a team that understands the position they are. In this circumstance of the season, you can't afford to drop any point at home. Any team who drops any point at home going forward now is likely to go down. You lose one game at home, you are going down. You win one game at home, you are shooting up. That's how the league has been the last few years. And I don't think it will change this season. So for Kano Pillars, probably you go out there, see what you can do in your away games. But at home, you have to get all 3 points.
At home, you have to get all 3 points. And as you talk about this, my worry goes to Wolverhampton Wanderers, who also feels like they started late. They picked up a draw against Arsenal, beat Aston Villa 2-0, but would they survive relegation this season? Well, it looks like they are doomed for relegation in the EPL. And like you rightly mentioned, you must win your games at home if you want to shoot up. And Arsenal will play against Chelsea later today, hoping that they can get that victory as well. And you need to pick up 3 points or even a draw away from home if you want to survive or win a title in any football league that you are playing. Great analysis from you right there, Pius Ahamba. And I'm glad you didn't throw stones at anyone today because maybe we're not in the Champions League. And hey, I know you're going to throw this stone right now if I ask you this question. CAF has decided to increase the money for CAF Champions League winners and Confederation Cup winners. But Nigeria is not even in that group chat, Pius. Throw your stone.
I mean, what stone am I going to throw? when we have teams who we just welcome Rivers United back to the league, and you can see when we talk about local champions, this is what we talk about. When Rivers United went to represent on the continent, we saw how shambolic they were, how they were beaten left, right, and center, even by teams who were from low-level leagues. I mean, they were beaten. And then they returned back to the league. We can see them in their last 3 games that they've played. They've won. They've not lost. They've drawn 2. They've won 1. Even the one against Enyimba, where we thought they were going to even lose, they still drew that game. So this is what we talk about local champions. We just display ourselves in the country thinking we have I'm not even surprised because if we have Enyimba made a lot of money when they went to represent us in the CAF Super League, right? They went there, we saw how they disgraced us, and of course how disgraced we. They collected all of the money they were going to collect and returned back to Nigeria. Now we have started hearing that they want to probe to know how that money was spent here and there and all of that. We just go there, we just do what we have to do, and then we'll come back home. We are not ready. We are not even ripe to qualify out of the group stages of any CAF competition. And that's as simple as it sounds. Because when we have teams, for example, let's even take Rivers United for an example. But a lot of persons talk about the political war, will I use war, the political differences happening in Rivers State, which I probably would say, yes, that might be a factor. But on the field of play, even the quality of football we are seeing, if you don't watch the NPFL, at least you watch the CAF Champions League and, of course, the CAF Competition Cup. Yeah. You will see the quality of the difference between what Rivers United, how they play, and how other teams play. That's a difference. And sometimes you say the manager, but, of course, the quality of players we also have is also a major factor. So whether we go there, we collect money, or whether we go there, we don't collect money, the issue is that we just go and we come back. And it's just simple. It's as simple as next season, we've not ended this season, but I can assure you that going into next season will actually give the continent, maybe Rivers United and Ikorodu City, as the case may be, because they are first and second right now, and probably get one team from the FA Cup to also go compete, just go there, qualify, and then come back home, and they will keep going around the same circle. I'm predicting it from this season because I've not even seen any blueprints going into next season. It is from this season, you know how next season will be. So
very true.
I mean, What more can I say?
The merry-go-round will definitely continue with our football if we don't get to do things the proper way. Thank you very much, Pius, for joining us on the show today. Pleasure having you on the show. Thank you.